Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Come get some.
Hello, hello. Thank you, one and all, for popping in to watch me today. I've got a few drawings that I'm going to ink, and I penciled them earlier, and a couple of them are on comic book backing boards, but each one is a public domain comic character. I have a little bit of an obsession with the public domain stuff. But let me take a look here. Thank you, Vincent. I appreciate that, man. That's very kind of you. I hope you're doing well. And again, to anyone and everyone who may be here, thank you for taking time to pop in, to watch, and to listen. And not only am I going to ink these drawings, I also have some comics I received today. My first published comic work. It's my story. I did get published in a coloring book, but this is my character and the story that got published. But before I get into too much here, um, this of course looks like a Grim Reaper, but it's my take on the character called Skull. There are several Skull type characters that are public domain, but that's my take on him. And then I'm going to ink my take on the comic character called Miss Fury, and she appeared not too long after Catwoman, either before or after, I can't remember, but she was the first female superhero character created, written, and illustrated by a female comic creator. And she was a comic strip character. And she was pretty popular for a while. And her name was Miss Fury. And then I'm going to ink my take on another character called Blackbird, although the original Blackbird was a male character and he had his own plane. But I changed Blackbird up a little bit. And again, because it's public domain, I can change things around. But I kept the bird design a little bit close to the original, and I gave her goggles, kind of like the original character had. So before I get to gabbing too much here, I'm going to start inking, and I will look at the chat here in just one moment, if you bear with me. And again, thank you one and all for coming in here. I really appreciate your time. I hope you're all doing well. Hello, Andy. Hello. Thanks for being here, man. And I'm going to get this pen out here. And let's give her a go. And again, this is a comic book backing board, and I'm going to use this disposable type fountain pen. Although it is a water-based pen, but it's School G, what they call School G. It's refillable, but for this type of little bit rougher surface, I like the nib on it. I also have a carbon pen which I use on this type of board, but this is not a very large sketch, so I'm just going to use the smaller pen today. And the comic I'm going to show a little while. A couple of the pages, I know I could have done a better job, but it does feature the introductory story and the origin of my character, Mr. Muck. And that's in Golden Era Comics issue number 5. and you will see what it looks like here in a little while. And I got the package today actually, so I'm pretty excited to see it, to check it out. And it was a learning experience. And again, I know I could have done a better job on a few of the pages, but the editor, they accepted what I had. They were cool enough to. The first run I didn't come out very good, and I talked to the editor and asked if I can, revise everything, and they agreed. So I was kind of given a second chance, basically, for lack of a better term here. And I'm going to use this. It's a little bit of a broader brush pen here, has a soft tip on it. That might be a little bit too big, actually. I should have had it set up before I went live. And give me just a second here, and I'll look at who's all hanging out. It's all action, morning to night. That's how we got things going. Oh, of course. Dang, I keep these damn pen nibs. The pens I'm pulling out here, they're not in English. So, although it has an indicator what kind of nib it is, but I can't find the smaller one. So anyway, I'm talking to myself here. So bear with me. I'm just going to use this one here. And again, this is just my take on the Skull. Just made him a basic villain with the Grim Reaper type robe and appearance and whatnot. It was just a quick sketch I did the other day. And anyone watching or listening, if you ever, I know, we want to come up with our own ideas, but even Marvel and DC writers, editors, and whatnot, a lot of them base some of their characters off of other characters that already exist, that are public domain. Of course, I try to be original as possible. But if you want to create something and you can't come up with a name, there's a plethora of characters that you can choose from. And there are a couple of sites, public domain superheroes and Comic Book Plus, and you can find a whole bevy of comic book titles and characters and artwork to check out from that started around, the golden age until like early 70s that are due to one reason or another lapsed into public domain because the publisher went out of business or didn't retain their copyright, trademark, that sort of thing. But again, this is just a quick sketch I did. Nothing too fancy dancy or whatnot. And I'm just going to add some black here in the inside of his hood on the robe that he's wearing. This is a pretty simple sketch I did. Not sure if I'm going to keep this one around or not, but I just wanted to have something to start off today's stream with. So, and again, my take on the Skull. And let's get this bad boy set off to the side. And forgive me for a minute while I get something to drink. Hello, Rick Saylor. Hello, how are you doing? Well, I really appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming in here to, on your lunch break. I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. So what I'm going to do next, I drew my take on Miss Fury. I've drawn her before several times, and again, she was the first comic character created, written, and illustrated by a female cartoonist. And now I'm trying to remember the lady's name, and it is escaping me. But anyway, a fun character, and you can find information about Miss Fury again on Public Domain Superheroes. And she wore a cat costume, which actually had some mystical powers. However, every time she wore it, um, it came at a price. It's a pretty interesting story, actually. And even during the day, it was kind of considered, kind of good girl art, basically. A far different cry from today's version of good girl art, that's for sure. I usually have this information in the back of my head, and today I am drawing a blank. So I'm going to blame it on the rain for not being fully functional. How about that? And again, I really appreciate anyone being here. If you have not yet already done so, please give the stream a like. I would appreciate it. If you are subscribed to either channel, onto my either Pop's channel or my channel, I thank you very much. If you have not yet done so, I think we would both appreciate that too. And I don't know how to say this, but don't let some things that have maybe been said or transpired deter you from being here on this channel or my channel or whatnot. Everyone's working hard to try to promote and to expand. And I recently just talked to Pops, and he gave me some 411 on what his plans are, and it's all good. I mean, everyone who wants to participate is going to benefit in one way or another. And even you don't have to participate, but be here and watch things grow. That's the name of the game. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Just my opinion. What do I know? Not much. And I do have to move this around a bit when I'm inking. So hope you can see her okay. And I will look at the chat here in just one moment. The camera's off to, not the camera, but the computer screen is off to the side, so I kind of have to turn around a bit. So give me just a second here. Hello, TJ. Hello. Thank you for being here. I just realized I need to create a dang avatar for the StreamYard. But let's take a look. Hopefully I can get this other pen going here. It's an older pen, but it works pretty well when I get the ink flowing. I just don't want to damage the nib on this paper, though. Yeah, it does. It just doesn't want to work on this dang comic book backing board. So I need to remember that. I hate to have the same line width on everything on the art, but I don't have much of a choice right now. Because again, I know I chose to use this comic book backing board just for purpose of the stream. Nothing too fancy, a quick sketch and everything, and I find them good to use at times for rough drafts or concept sketches. Not always ideal, but I'll try to make use of what I have because definitely paper is not cheap anymore, just like everything else. Except for the girls I know, but that's another story. Actually, I don't know any, so what am I saying? Now, see, that was a bad joke. If you want to consider it a joke, I don't know. Let me see. Hey, Maranya! Whoa, hello, Maranya, Maranya. Oh, I'm so happy that you're here. Oh, Maranya's a great lady. She helps moderate the I Love Comics and Old Man Comics YouTube channels. Um, he usually has an auction on Saturdays, and I try to participate when I do have funds. And even if you don't have funds, pop in to watch it. It is a blast. They joke around. You get some good information about comics you may have missed or don't know about. So, Maranya, thank you for being here. Woohoo! Thank you for those kind words, Maranya. I'm sitting here talking about Miss Fury, and I'm struggling to remember the name of the cartoonist, or not cartoonist, but the creator, the artist behind her. And I had that information in the back of my head, and I'm struggling to remember what her name was. But again, this is just a quick sketch on a comic book backing board I did yesterday, and I just thought I'd ink her up. And then I'm going to move on to my larger sketch on better paper, featuring my take on Blackbird. And I changed Blackbird from the male hero to a female, and I definitely made her more bird themed, but we'll get to that here in just a minute. And this ink does smudge pretty easily, so I'm going to leave that alone for a while. Try to let that dry. Not try, but we'll let that dry before I mess with that again. So real quickly, my take on Skull looks, more like a Grim Reaper type character. Just a quick sketch, and then my take on Miss Fury. Okay, Dale Rowney mixed media markers are refillable with most any kind of inks, and they have replaceable nibs. I use those for my inking. Yeah, I have I know what we were talking about. Like I have a variety of pens and markers too. Like on this type of paper here, I've actually managed to get some new old stock, the Faber-Castell technical pens, which I really love. I've got this the 00 and then the 000 nib millimeter, and some other. I got the Copics as well, and I even got a carbon pen, which I really like. It's really heavy though, but yeah, I'm always trying to find which ones work. I used to use the Rotring, Rapidograph, for the fine detail stuff. I really liked them, but man, those nibs they wear out really quickly. I found that the older Faber-Castell ones, the nibs last a lot longer. So that's why I'm using those. Although I can't always find them, but it's always hit and miss. And if you forgive me a second, I'm going to get something to drink. Oh yeah, they're much cheaper overall than those Copic markers. Yeah, I agree. I will look into it. I think I had them before. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, and the Copic markers, oh the pens, not the multi, these right here, the multi-liners. Yeah, they wear out pretty quickly as well. But forgive me a second here. I caved in today and got a soda pop. I should not have, but I've really cut out the soda pop. But we have overcast weather, and I was kind of running behind. And I also try to give up on the caffeine as much as possible. So anyway, I'm making excuses. Excuses are like bungholes. Everyone has one, but everybody has one. Let me see. Glenn Fleming, hello. Hey guys. Oh, I can. Yeah, Maranya Rapidograph. I used to use back in the day for lettering. Mm. Yeah, I really like the. I mean, I really like the Rapidograph Rotring. It seemed like the quality of the nibs and the ink kind of changed a little bit over the years. Maybe that's just me, but I know the nibs just don't last as long. And there's also what is that other brand? Oh, good lord! I'm talking to someone about the pens and I can't remember the name. But the pens the nibs are very fragile. I really like the effects you can. I think Robert Crumb uses those pens, but the dang nibs are so fragile, so I don't even mess with them. Well, let's see if I can get the ink flowing on this sucker today. Hopefully I can. So you hear some shaking. I'm kind of messing with the pen. I don't know if it's going to get going or not, but oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, this is smooth Bristol that I'm using right here, the paper. And again, this is the Faber Castell. Was it TG? Yeah, TG. I'm always looking for these. Not for the the larger areas on the inking, but the finer detail. I know a lot of people are use the dip pens and the brushes. I use those on. I don't use them too often, but I find they work best on the vellum Bristol. But when it comes to the smooth, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm not very adept at using them on the smooth Bristol, and plus I make a mess as well. But it's bad enough when I use these pens, I make a mess. Yeah, Maranya, like Pop's saying, he has a number of shows going with not just comic book artists, but games and general comic book talk and anything relevant to entertainment and media. Quite a variety. And Pops, I know you usually hand out wrenches, to people who subscribe. And I'm talking about Old Man Comics. I love comics. His YouTube channel. He's definitely worth checking out to anyone who is listening right now. I know I'm promoting another channel. I'm just talking about. He does have several streams throughout the week, but especially on Saturday for anyone still interested in the older comics and newer ones too. He does make an effort to find newer indie stuff that may have been campaigns or people don't know about. He makes a really good effort to find titles that will appeal to different people. And again, like every Saturday night, usually 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Um, I'm talking Central Standard Time because that's where I am. But on Saturday night, and forgive me for pimping that out a little bit, but I really enjoy going over there to watch and listen and get a couple comics when I have the funds for it. But anyway, that aside, this is my take on Blackbird. And again, the original character um, was a pilot type character, but I'm just using the name and keeping the symbol a little bit close to the original, not 100%, but close to that original design. She's an maker, an avian superheroine. And speaking of which, I'm also, and again, I mentioned this before, I will be working on my She Agents comic, the all-female superhero team, superheroine. And it's going to, while it may have kind of standard superhero fare, but I'm going to make, an effort to have a lot of action, good girl art, bad girl art, some interesting villains. And I've shown those characters before. I didn't bring them out today, but you can catch my other videos and my other streams where I talk about the characters and show them off. And I would appreciate anyone watching if you were to subscribe to my channel so you can check them out. And I will show them off again, talk about them again. And I will draw a couple pages here, probably next week. Or, well, no, I take that back. 2 weeks from now, I take that back. I'm sorry, 2 weeks from now. I will draw some pages, ink some pages. I need to do the pencils away from the camera since that's a little bit more involved on my part. And I also have my paranormal rogue operatives. Again, another all-female team. They are paranormal investigators / monster hunters. Although that's going to be a little bit more humor oriented, but definitely with action. And again, more good girl art, bad girl art, monsters, and more villains. So let me take a look here at the chat, and I'll catch up with you guys. Let me see. Let me take a look here. Yeah, Miran, you're saying the favorite Castell looks similar to the rapidograph. I don't, and here's the thing, Miranda. I've been trying to find out when the Faber-Castell technical pens began manufacturing, and I'll be darned if I could find the year that they started manufacturing those technical pens. I've scoured all over. There's no indication on any of the pens I bought, any of the boxes. Maybe I just haven't researched hard enough. But yeah, they're definitely similar to the rapidograph. But I think these Faber-Castell, these nibs, they're a little bit sturdier, and maybe a different type of steel they're using. I'm not sure, but I usually have to, and they're still in production with the newer ones, but I try to find the older ones, like the old stock, because there's still quite a few of them floating around. And let me take. I'm sorry, I'm being a nerd here. Let me see. Oh, Miran, you're saying I stopped using dip pens because they tended to make blops and messes that Dr. P.H. Martin's bleed proof white didn't cover well. Okay, so I'm not alone. that's what I'm saying. If I do mess with dip pens or brushes or whatever, I will use the vellum. I don't like messing with it too much because of that reason. I just I'm not as adept or have quite as much control as other artists, do. I wish I did. Let me see. Pens, paper, pencil. Good to see real art being produced. No, I appreciate that, Glenn. I appreciate you saying that. Don't run for cover, man. I'm that makes me excited and happy that you just said that. That's awesome. Comic book artist Aaron Lopresti, he's pretty much the same way. He will use a little bit of digital stuff for coloring or a few effects here and there, but he's a big proponent of using traditional methods. And again, I'm just a small press amateur, comic artist, wannabe, whatever you want to call me, and I just enjoy the paper and the pencil and the pens. I know Vic King, he uses traditional methods as well with the paper, the pencil, the pens, and the ink. He might use some digital stuff to tweak things here and there. A lot of artists do that, but overall, I mean, this is what I enjoy doing. Let me see here. That's awesome. No, I'm glad you said that, Glenn. That's sweet. Let me see. Oh yeah, right on. I just subbed to Old Man Comics. Yes, yes, yes. Pops, I think you get a kick out of it, man. You would get a kick out of that channel, especially on Saturday nights, because he goes out of his way to find some really great comics. And there were, back in the day, I wasn't always able to get all the comics I had my eyes on, and he's making an effort to bring them to make them available to people, and his rates are a lot better than friggin' Phoebe. So you never know what you could find. And if you don't, and again, you don't buy anything, at least hang out to watch and listen because he's pretty cool. Let me see. As is Marwania. And let me see. Rapidographs from first on the market way back in 1969. Okay. I know my brother had one. I stole it to draw my own comics at the time. You were 14. I used them all the time after buying my own set. Then I taught myself to use a brush. Cool. Glenn, you and I are in agreement. I feel that most modern comic book art lost its soul when it went to primarily digital pencils and quote unquote inks. Gotcha. Right on. And again, I really appreciate y'all being here. And forgive me a second, I need to get something else to drink real quickly. And when I'm done, I'm just going to lay down the basic inks on this. Then I'm going to open up that parcel I received um, with my first published comic book story and art. And again, a couple of the pages didn't quite turn out the way I had wanted. So please bear with me. They're going to look pretty rough. But a couple of other pages came out better. I should have taken more time and been more consistent, but I was given an opportunity to do some work, and the publisher's name is Mark Davis. Because I sent him something like last year or a year and a half ago. Uh, just talk, I met him on Facebook and we were just talking about comics and stuff. And he liked what I had, and he reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, you want to do something for an anthology comic?" And I know anthology comics aren't always all that popular, but I've always liked them myself. I used to be a Dark Horse Presents comic collector a long time ago, but Mark Mark has helped promote a number of comic book artists with their first works and everything. So that's pretty cool, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit, but that comic's going to have my um, story called Mr. Muck, and the story centers around botanist Hammond Greenman, who through a series of events becomes the supernatural superhero called Mr. Muck. And I hope you guys will consider checking it out, maybe buying a comic. And he usually has those available both in PDF and in print form. And he does not ask much for these comics either. And the other stories and art far supersedes what I have to offer. If you don't buy it for what I have in there, please buy it for the other stories. And there's a character called American Symbol, and I believe a Chameleon. And Chameleon's kind of a pulp noir type character. And American Symbol, as you can probably guess from the name, is a patriotic superhero. And I really like that one too. And bear with me a second. I'm trying to. So I am gonna switch over to this Copic multi-liner, provided it has enough ink in it. I know the nib's a bit worn out on it, so I don't know how far I will get with this one. Well, I'm really happy to know that there's still comic art fans and creators and artists and collectors who still prefer the traditional. Don't get me wrong, I've seen quite a bit of the digital stuff that's been impressive. My thing, with just my opinion, and I hate to say this, but sometimes I'm under the impression that some people are using the digital stuff, what they're doing, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Some of them are swiping images, photos, and then just tracing over them and then posing it as their own art. And I know traditional artists might do the same thing with, say, light boxes or whatever. So it's not just digital. But having said that, there has been some impressive digital artwork and comics. I may be a dinosaur, but my excuse here is, again, I'm just I'm an amateur. This is a small press, indie. Maybe if I'm around long enough, I might check out the digital end. I don't know. I don't know if I ever will. But let me take a look here. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Neither do I. No, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying anyone watching, stream, or listening or whatever does that. The comic book art now is a series of pinups. The art of storytelling is disappearing. That's true. That's true. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can have all the prettiest. Of course, I'm drawing kind of a pretty girl here, but for this, you have to have a story. I mean, even if you're not reading the dialogue or what the story, if you can flip through the pages and figure out what is going on, that is half the battle right there. That to me is also, indicative of a good story. Let me see. Glenn, you're saying I actually found a rapidograph I bought 40 years ago, never been used. Oh wow. Oh, excuse me. I'm looking forward to breaking it out. Oh, sweet. Maranya, you're saying my first published art was interior art pieces for my senior yearbook in high school. Their printing was super high quality. My non-photo blue pencil showed up a little in some pieces. Yeah, that's kind of, back in the day. I mean, not that I know much, but I know that was kind of hard to avoid that. Oh, Mariah, you're saying this Saturday I'm taking a rare night off because I'm going. Oh, I'm going to my Ren fair on Sunday, and I have to get up at too dark early to go to that. Oh, they'll have a good time, man. I would love to attend a Ren fair. I have a cousin who lives in Illinois. He and his wife, they both do that on a regular basis. I've never been to one. I would love to go to one. Love to go to one. One day, maybe. We'll see. Let me see. Yeah. Like Pops is saying, if you're if you have a ranch and you want to share something, share a link. Same thing on my channel too. You want to promote something, please do so. Please do it. We have to promote and support. you never know when someone might come in to check things out. If not now, during the replay. Let me see. Okay, I think that's what's going on there. Oh, crap. Give me a second here. And give me a second here, guys. Just a second here. Give me just one moment. I'm talking about the Mr. Muck story, and that's available through Golden Era Comics, and you can find the titles on Indie Planet. I think that just dropped not too long ago, and I will show it here in a little bit. Actually, I think we're going to use a different pen on the wings here, or her cape, however you want to call it. And again, please, spike the like. Sharing is caring. Please lick the like button. It would help out quite a bit. If you don't mind me gabbing and drawing, and you're here to watch and listen, definitely I appreciate your time very much. And again, I'm talking about my She Agents comic. I hope to have the She Agents and the Paranormal Rogue Operatives available as ash cans, hopefully by the end of this year. We'll see what happens. I have a couple of other projects I would like to get going. I will be talking with another comic creator about another idea. Someone you guys may know who comes on to Pops' channel. And he's a pretty cool guy. I don't want to spoil too much right now, but not that it's a big mystery. I just want to get that finalized as soon as I get all my other stuff underway. And I even have a cartoon comic character, which will be 100% humor oriented, which I also hope to get going. So I do have some plans. I know it's just right now with the economy and everything else going on. It's not an expenditure that people want to invest in per se, but I do want to make what I have available at a fair price wherever outlet, whatever format I'm able to use. Whether I'll do any kind of crowdfunding campaign, I don't know about. That's kind of up in the air. And this is a Kuretake brush pen. It's a 0.18 millimeter. I really like it. I think there's a 0.13. I think. I could be wrong. But it's pretty expensive. But I'm sure it's worth every penny. A little bit of a finer brush pen on that. finer tip, you know, finer brush. Oh, Daler Rowney. Why do I not know of these? Let me see. I'm trying to think of what I use. I'm kind of mix it up. Sometimes I use Canson. Sometimes a Strathmore. Although I'm not too big on Strathmore these days. And I also use. Of course, I'm looking for it and I can't find it. Oh crud! Forgive me a second here. I'm trying to get this out without dropping everything. Dang it. And then sometimes I use the Borden and Riley. They have two different. This was a little bit supposed to be a thicker Bristol plate at 157 pound, but it doesn't seem to be the same as it did, like say a year ago. And they also have the pen and ink variety from Borden and Riley, and it's like 100 pound or 98 pound or 110 pound. I can't remember the exact the weight on it, but I like them. But again, I know it sounds weird, but it just seems like the quality of the paper has changed a bit. Same thing with Canson, same thing with Strathmore. You know, I don't know what's happened, but Daily Round, yeah, okay. So yeah, so smooth going on the paper. Okay, let me see. Those cape wings remind me a little of the. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about, yeah, Sorcerer's animation action figure from Filmation's He-Man. Yeah, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, I've drawn a few AV well, Lord, not aviation. Oh dang it, the bird theme characters, and I kind of like drawing them. But I just thought Blackbird would be a cool one to do. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, TJ. And I'm messing around with a few other creative things besides drawing on the paper. Um, I recently posted a craft video. I'm messing around with clay and some plastics, and I want to make some molds and some sculptures here and there. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. And I also post. I try to make it uh, public
Yeah, it's
domain daily.
crashing everything. Hi.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Well, you know, you push a button and the whole world falls apart. That's how that works.
Oh, that happened to me last stream, didn't it?
Well,
Damn camera.
you know, I just wanted to pop in because the dogs decided to say hi too. I just wanted to pop in because Glenn's just sent me something that's really cool, and Glenn works completely in traditional. Okay, colors, everything, and I want to show this because you guys are gonna like this.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Wow. Oh, I like the colors on it too.
It's an Easter Island. Easter Island, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil.
That's why I like that. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty neat. That's awesome. Oh, was that? I wonder if that was watercolor with the colors. Maran, you're saying the DR pens are very smooth on multiple types of paper, or really even the Canson Mi Tientes on both the smooth and textured sides. I've always wanted to get that paper, but I never have. Wow. Colored inks. Oh wow, okay. That's pretty sweet, man. That's pretty sweet. I like that. Pardon me. Yeah, I think the nib's worn out on that one. I'm not gonna mess with that. It's definitely worn out. So let me get back to this other pen. Hey, nail there. Okay. And let me take a look here. And I will look at the chat in just one moment. And do. And I want to show one other thing real quickly here. I've shown it before, but just in case no one has seen this yet, if you haven't been here before, if you have seen it, forgive me for showing it again. But this is my first quote unquote published work from a publisher, and this is Indelible Comics. Their Indelible Comics coloring book, and you can find this on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you get free shipping, and I believe it costs $5.99 or $6.99 depending where you live. It has various pieces of art made just for coloring, featuring a lot of the orphaned Dell Comics characters and public domain characters, and a number of artists besides, myself, submitted work here. And this is from PJ Shark's little character. Rock Baker drew, pretty cool. Rock Baker had previously worked for AC Comics under FemForce title, but now he does work exclusively right now on Indelible with his cartoon cuties, kind of a funny animal, anthropomorphic title, but he does it very tastefully. I want to I can't even talk. Emphasize that quite a bit. And Rock and I have traded artwork, and he's done some work for me as well. And I've been really happy with everything he's done. And there's some really cool artwork in here. And look at this one. This is by Kevin James Freer. I don't know if you want to color this one or not, but it's still a beautiful piece. Look how awesome that is. Isn't that cool? But it's hard to get a proper view with this damn camera, so I apologize on that. But I'm just going to show my pieces real quick, and then I'm going to open up that comic, the parcel with my comics. And again, my take on the orphaned Dell comic character called Spaceman. I kept him close to the original, just a few tweaks here and there, and I have him facing off against an alien monster creature. And let me adjust this blasted camera. I don't want anyone to get seasick there. So there we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. And I drew this on the back of a comic book backing board, and they accepted this one as a piece to use to color. And let me see. I should have had these tabbed, and there is a giant robot character. Oh yeah, even though that is designed to be a coloring book, it's miles and miles away from the nonsense passing for art that the big two tend to publish. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Margot. I'm sorry I wasn't watching the chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Yeah, and Moran, you're saying Dick Blick does offer quantity discounts for a lot of art supplies. That's my art crack site. Yeah, I used to get stuff from there too. I haven't been on there for a while, but I need to. There's a giant robot character called Neutro that appeared in Dell Comics, and he's kind of a basically anyone who can control him, whether it's good or bad or whatever. But I drew him trying to take down a suspension bridge, and my take on the public domain superhero Phantasmo, who can grow into giant proportions, not unlike Giant Man. And he had other powers and abilities too, but that's my take that I drew. And the last page here. And actually, I'm going to show this one real quick because it's so beautiful. Again, Kevin James Freer with his character, the Knave of Spades. And here he is. Look at the detail on the background and everything, and with the mist and just the overall artwork facing off against the bad guy here. But that's Kevin James Freer. And then I drew the Owl, another public domain character. He also appeared in Dell Comics. But this design right here, that's Kevin James Freer's design. And that's Kevin James Freer's artwork here. But this is his design that I saw a while back. And I drew the Owl based on his design. And then I drew Spectre. Not the DC Comics Spectre, but there is another public domain comic character called Spectre. And he actually was an enemy of the Owl. But I changed them up a little bit. So, I just wanted to show that off again. And you can find that Indelible Comic. There are a lot of other artists. I have posted a video where I went through each and every page and shouted out to all the artists. You can find that on my YouTube channel. If you look up, Indelible Comics coloring book, I showcase everything that appeared in here. I would suggest you check it out if you want. And you can find this on Amazon for like $5.99 or $6.99 if you have Amazon Prime, free shipping. And even if you don't color in it, check it out for the artwork. And Indelible is working on issue number 2, hopefully available by late November, early December. I did submit one new piece. I don't know if I'm going to have time to submit anything else, but that's my free plug there for them. So before I get to gabbing too dang much, let's open up this parcel with the comics that I got today. I did start to open it, but I thought, well, I better wait a little bit. So you're going to hear some ripping of paper and cardboard and everything else. Put that to the side. Whoops, that fell on the floor. And of course, I usually have my knife over here, and I don't know where I put it. That can go over here. Now I got my knife on another table. I don't want to get up to get it right now. So I'll just make use of this pair of janky scissors that I have. And again, the artwork I did, a couple of the pages, kind of rough. I could have done a better job. But you can, if you want to check this out, it's Golden Era Comics, available on Indie Planet, and I believe you can get either the PDF and the print version for pretty cheap. And there are other artists and writers who have work in the title. So, boom, boom, boom. There we go. So, this is Golden Era Comics, issue number 5. And again, that's American Symbol. Actually, he changed it. Okay, well, so it's where, okay. And then we have Mr. Chameleon, a pulp noir type character. And then here's my character, Mr. Muck down in the corner. And of course, that is my artwork, and the lettering was by the art editor, and he does an incredible job in the lettering, by the way. I was really, really impressed. And he also added some effects to the artwork I did, which I was really happy with. I did not expect it to look so good. Give me a second here, and I'll get this bad boy open, I hope. And again, please, anyone watching, please spike the like button. Please hit the like button. Please lick the like button. Whatever it is I have to say to get you to get that like button going. And if you're not subscribed to Pops Van Zant's YouTube channel, please do so. If you're not subscribed to mine, please do so. You don't have to for mine, but at least do it for Pops. Share this out if you want. And here we go. Okay. And I got another issue over there too. But here we go. So, and we see Bold Adventures presented in the Golden Age style. Golden Era Comics presents Golden Era issue number 5. And here we go. Justice will be served, Crimson Wizard. And I don't know just the female victim here, but so swears the American Guard. Also in this issue, Mr. Muck and Mr. Chameleon. So, let me take a look here. And that looks like American symbol, American Guard. Okay, well, he changed the name. It was American symbol, so evidently it's American Guard. So, okay. And then here's my story, Mr. Muck. I wanted to really draw, start off the first page with something really dramatic. But in order to establish, the story, I kind of had to go a little bit static. Really didn't want to. But again, do check this out. Please go to Indie Planet Comics to get yourself a copy. And forgive me if it's hard to see everything here. It's a little janky. If I'm moving stuff around too much, let me know. I apologize. It's hard for me to keep that in mind when I'm doing all this. And again, this is my artwork, but Ken Johnson, the art editor, I drew the symbol, but all this, the background effects here, that's all him. That's really good. And he did the lettering too. And this is a character that shows up to explain to Hammond Greenman what is happening, why he got transformed. And you'll have to read the story to figure it all out. Not figure it all out, but to discover what is going on. And I just want to give a brief preview of that. And let's go to something even better. And this is Mr. Chameleon. Oh, look at this artwork. Wow, look at the artwork on this one. If you don't get it for my story, get it for Mr. Chameleon and American Guard. I mean, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Sweet. Look at all the detail and the inks and everything. I'm definitely going to enjoy checking this one out. Wow. And again, this is Golden Era Comics. Golden Era Comics presents issue number 5. You can find it on Indie Planet. And please forgive me. I forgot to get the date. I was running behind a little bit today, and I didn't get the link for it. So that's a big mistake on my part. But next time I do a stream, I will post the link for it. And you can find it on Indie Planet. And You can follow Mark Davis as well, Mark F. Davis on Twitter. We follow each other, and he doesn't use Twitter quite that much, but he's on Facebook. If you look on Facebook under Golden Era Comics, he does have a page. So if you can't find what you're looking for on Indie Planet, you can find it on Facebook. So there we go. And thank you for letting me share that. I appreciate it. Let me see here. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I'm going to remind you, just touch back on what. Be careful, even janky scissors can mess your hands up. Yeah, and one of my hands is kind of messed up, so I'm glad you said that. But yeah, just go touch back on the coloring book. There were some really I didn't show everything, but there were some really, really great pieces in there. I mean, I am just blown away by all the artwork in there. And it's definitely not the same as the big two, as you're mentioning, because everyone who participated in it, we all have at least a little bit of an not just a little bit, but quite a fondness for the classic comic book art, the comic characters, whether it's Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age. Don't get me wrong, I like the Modern Age too, Copper Age stuff, but it's a little bit more centered around the older characters and whatnot. That sort of art style, but definitely worth checking out. So I'm going to get back to Blackbird's hair. Try to ink it up a little bit. I probably should use the technical pen on this one, but I just want to mess with the brush. And again, I really appreciate anyone being here. And if I sound like a broken record, I apologize, but don't forget to hit the like button. We got several people watching, but not a whole bunch of likes. If you don't do it for me, do it for someone else. Do it for the team. How about that? And I know when I'm doing it like this, it's not very controlled. It could look a lot better. But I'm doing this before the camera, and it's a whole different set of circumstances.
One thing you have to remember, Eric, is we got a lot of people watching, but they're watching in a lot of different places.
Okay.
They're not all like watching on your channel, but everybody should come over to Eric's YouTube channel and hit that like, because that's part of why we're on so many different networks. We want you guys to be seen on all the different platforms: Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, wherever we can get you guys. So if you're watching, be cool, go over to Eric's YouTube channel, smack that like button. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, Pops. Just to repeat what I was saying. If not for me, for Pops' channel, wherever you hit the like button, whether it's here, whether it's mine, greatly appreciated. Just to help, to help the. I hate to say the word algorithm, but to help the algorithm, But whether you hit it or not, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching and listening, and I appreciate the support quite a bit. And again, I'm just an amateur, wannabe, whatever you want to call it, small press comic artist, doing things the way of the dinosaur, but whatever. I try to joke around, try to have a good time. Doing it while I'm talking, not always easy. I seem to goof off a little bit better in the chat on other streams, but I'm learning as I go. I'm trying to get a little bit more comfortable doing it try not to be so static, I guess is the term I'm looking for. And please don't think I'm not grateful for anyone who's here. I appreciate it very, very much. I really do. And I really hope to entertain and give an enjoyable read for my pending comic projects. And while the she agents and the paranormal rogue operatives, will feature a lot of female characters. It's not going to be 100% female. There will be male characters, villains, some heroes, that sort of thing. And I don't have an agenda. That's what I forgot to say. There is no agenda involved. I'm not promoting any type of ideology like the big two have been doing lately. Although there may be hints of a winds of change with DC, possibly with I'm not going to pronounce the last name. Zelaznov, taking over not taking over, but being the new CEO for DC's media, at least with the films and the streaming and the shows and all that. I hope that will migrate over into the print comics. That will remain to be seen. But I just don't know how far that's going to go. If they're going to make an effort to wipe away the garbage, my opinion, the garbage that has been being dumped on everybody the last 10, 15 years. Especially the last 3 years have been really bad. But one can hope that things will change. I don't know if that will transpire or not. There's always rumors, there's always speculation of what may happen. While it's interesting to speculate, I just want it to happen, but hard to say. But while the big two have been floundering, they've been losing out on the money, and a lot of indie comics creators, whether they're aligned with Comicsgate or not, or just doing their own thing, they're getting some pieces of the pie. So hey, that's a good thing for I hate to say it's a good thing for other creators, but it's a good thing for other creators in a way. Forging ahead with our own IPs and ideas and creations. And I do color my artwork. Not all of it. I do create sketch cards too, but doing it in front of the camera probably not exactly the best thing to do. But I enjoy drawing and creating sketch cards. I've done pretty well, not 100%. A lot of people do better than I do, but they've usually gone pretty well. I just haven't done any for a while. But I do color artwork. Usually, kind of, I hate to say, well, I'm not going to hate to say, kind of like the pinup and like a lot of the female characters. I will draw out and then color and offer. It's been a while since I've tried to sell anything, actually. Oh, there goes that pen right onto the floor. Oh, dang it. Well. It rolled right off the table. So let me see here. Bear with me a second here. Let me take a look here. Oh, you're saying, okay, Avian. I could not remember the name. Okay, Avian. Miran, you're saying I would definitely outsource my lettering for any book I produce in the future. My hand lettering is as bad as some big 2 art. Yeah, Maranya, I'm with you on that. I'll be dinged if I can hand letter anything. I've been offered tips and suggestions, but I don't have the patience for it. Number one. Well, hello, just call me Hen. Thank you for those kind words. Yeah, outsourced. Yeah, I got fortunate with that comic I just showed. The art editor did the lettering, and which really made me happy that he was able to do the lettering for it. And I hope to talk to him about lettering my other projects. We'll see. But again, in case anyone hasn't seen it, my first comic book that I have a story and artwork in. And again, that's my character, Mr. Muck, and Golden Era Comics, issue number 5, and it should be available Indie Planet, if not now, pretty soon. But you can also go onto Facebook and look up Golden Era Comics. He has a group page there, and if you want to get a copy from me, hit me up. I'd be happy to. If you're in the U.S. We could talk about it. If you're outside the U.S., of course, shipping would be a lot more. But that's if you want one. And if you don't get it from me, again, support Golden Era Comics if you can. Indie Planet or on the group page on Facebook, Golden Era Comics. Mark definitely has a love, and the publisher and the art editor both have a love for the Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age type characters and artwork and everything. I'm glad to know people still do, and you don't have to be old to appreciate it. And let me take a look here. Oh, you're okay, Mariah. You're saying I actually like the brushwork on this avian style character. Super fine details on the wings could be done with the Faber-Castell or another fine nib, and that's exactly what I am going to do a little bit later. I'm not going to do it right now, but that's exactly what I'm going to do, Maranya. I appreciate that. Yep. Is I have to let this the ink dry before I can get into the fine details. Because this brush pen right here is pretty cool. It's a little bit softer, but it smudges so easily. That Kuretake that I used a little bit earlier, I'm mixing it up with both pens here actually, but they both take a little bit to dry. And I am kind of messy, so I want to make absolutely sure that it's all dry before I go with the fine details. But yeah, and I can even use the I use the fiber pen. Can you imagine that? The Faber-Castell for the fine details, and also with that oh dang it, where'd I put it? The School G, the manga. Manga, whatever. And it's a little bit old now, but this one too for the fine details too. And it comes in 2 different sizes: the medium and the fine. So, and speaking of fine details, let me see if I can get some details on her lips here. And on the little bit on her leg. But I just don't want to touch. I know I could use a paper pad or something to avoid touching the ink. But even when I've done that before, though, I've ended up smudging it. So I try to be extra careful in that area. So right now, this is the basic outline, the basic artwork for the public domain comic character called Blackbird. Uh, Changed the character around. Originally was a male superhero, uh, airplane pilot. I kept the symbol kind of close to the original. Again, a little bit tweaked on the symbol on my part, and I changed them around to this female character. And I did do a gender swap. Oh my word, the outrage with the gender swap. What am I going to do? But there's Blackbird. So I'm going to put her to the side, and I'm going to get some liquid libation real quick. Miss Hello Donut. The jelly-filled donut has popped in. Hello, thank you for coming in to watch and to listen. I appreciate you being here. And guess what, Donut? I got my first published comic book with Mr. Muck on the inside. And that's Golden Era Comics, number 5. And let me see, I've talked about my She Agents characters a few times. Since I've got this close by, I'm going to, again, talk about my character, Nature Girl. She will appear in issue number 1 / the Ash Can for the She Agents title. And this first piece, this is my design, but this is Nature Girl from comic book artist Stephen Butler. I was fortunate to commission him a couple years back, actually 2016. It's been that long ago. But yeah, this is Nature Girl. This is my character who will appear in the She Agents team. And I was so happy to get this artwork from him. He did such a beautiful job. I hope you guys will like Nature Girl when she shows up in the She Agents. And Stephen Butler, he had worked on Spider-Man and Silver Sable and Crusaders and even Sonic the Hedgehog, of all things. And he does a lot of commissions, and that's where he's been making his money the last for quite a few years. And I'm not, when I say this, I'm not saying it to knock him. Marvel dropped him, which I think was a huge mistake, because and he also worked Scarlet Spider. A lot of people really dug his artwork, but Marvel, in their idiocy, they dropped him as an artist. And I'm not saying it to, say anything bad for him about him or anything. I think Marvel effed up in that regard. But anyway, their loss has been our gain, because a lot of people have been commissioning the man to do artwork, and he's been doing pretty good. And again, and this is Nature Girl again, and the artist was Rock Baker. He did the pencils, and Rock Baker had worked on AC Comics FemForce, and now he's working on Indelible Comics with his own line of anthropomorphic funny animals called the Cartoon Cuties, and he does that very tastefully. But I was fortunate to commission Rock to do the pencils on Nature Girl here, and then I did the inks, and I absolutely enjoy inking Rock's work. Well, thank you, a donut, and I don't know if I'm ever, I would love to work with him again. He's such an expert. I mean, I love his style. And here's another Nature Girl piece. There's another comic book artist named Mark Dial, and he drew Nature Girl for me. I commissioned him. This is some time ago, and then I ended up coloring the artwork. He did the inks and everything, and unfortunately, I don't know what I somehow, somewhere, I lost the original artwork. I don't know what I did with it, but I remember printing this off and then I had colored it and everything. But this is Mark's take on Nature Girl. He did a really lovely job, and I like his style as well. He's really cool. And I don't know if you can see the little snake here hiding out amongst the leaves and whatnot. And that's Nature Girl by Mark. And again, Nature Girl will be a member, a founding member of the She Agents team. And just to give a basic rundown of the She Agents, there's a superheroine, a superpowered protectorate on the planet Blalock. Through a series of events, she ends up on planet Earth, and then her arrival on Earth serves as a catalyst for the formation of the superhero of the team called the She Agents. And I've been a little bit sporadic showing the characters. I hope you don't mind me showing them again to anyone who may not have seen them. I should have had this organized, but I don't think I was going to show them. And here's my the leader of the She Agents team. She's called. I named her Commandant Comet. And again, this is my design, but Stephen Butler drew her for me. Again, I was fortunate to commission him to do this. I was really happy with it. He drew her exactly how I envisioned, with the pose and the stance and the costume and everything. Really, really excited to get this one from him. And Commandant Comet she briefly served as a police officer before discovering, through some things that happened, that she has these superpowers, which are a bit of a combination of cosmic energy and some magic. And I explained who and what she is in the comic. She's intelligent, has a lot of heart, and again, she becomes the leader of the She Agents team. And if you bear with me here, I'm going to see if I can dig out. Oh boy, where did I put it? The other characters here. And I hope you don't mind me talking about these characters again, showing them off. I will get to work on the sequential pages again. I've got page 1 down. I started the pencils on page 2. I need to get off my duff and get to work on the rest of the pages. And here is, let me see, American Comics. Hello, American Comics. Thank you for being. Yeah, okay. Nature Girl looks strong and feminine. What were you thinking, Eric? That can't happen in modern comics. Thank you, Mariah. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you caught that, because I definitely wanted a feminine looking character, appealing, good girl art. And of course, I don't have to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. The She Agents, all the characters and the artwork you're seeing here, the concepts and the story are copyright Eric and Boyd. I've already got that laid out before, but I just want to make sure I had that said. And this is the superhero, the superpowered character, the alien character that I mentioned. She's on the planet Blalock, and through a series of events, she ends up on Earth, and she serves as a catalyst for the She Agents team. She is super strong, nearly invulnerable. She can survive the vacuums of space, and she's also a telepath, which enables her to communicate with virtually any sentient being. She can instantly understand other languages. She has other heightened senses. And in true alien form, I had to give her, 3 fingers and 3 toes, and she has these antenna, which help her with her telepathic powers. She has flight, supersonic speed, and not unlike Flash, she can vibrate her body, give her some supersonic powers as well. And she also has these pair of little eyes, not unlike a reptile, but they serve as they function where she can see through any type of energy spectrum in space, atmosphere, that sort of thing. But I go into more detail about her in the comic. And again, that's Princess Vanna Strong. And I use Vanna. And I loosely based on the public domain character called Vanna. She was teamed with a character called Martin. They were science fiction based superheroes. I kept her helmet kind of close to the original, but I just used the name Vanna. There's also a character called um, Doc Strong, but I just used the last name Strong. It translated into Earth English as Princess Vanna Strong. She's from a royal family on her home planet, and she's one of the protectorates of her planet, superpowered and everything. And again, she arrives on Earth through some events, and she serves as a catalyst for the formation of the She Agents. And that's another concept sketch I did not too long ago. So just kind of messing around with that. Let me see. You guys want to see? I have some other hero characters, but I can't go along too long without showing one of the bad girls, right? And this is one of the villains. Her name is Sister Scarab. How well you can see that. Hopefully that shows up okay. And Sister Scarab, she's highly intelligent, very tech savvy. She invents and creates this suit of armor, which gives her several abilities, one being the ability to fly. Um, she can hack into any mainframe, is very computer savvy, but she also has a degree of invulnerability due to her suit of armor and everything. While she's intelligent and an inventor and has all these other abilities and powers, she's off her rocker. She's a bit of a wackadoo, kind of a unique character in a way, and she's going to be a major foil to the She Agents team, and that is Sister Scarab. And let me see here. I'm trying to find a couple. Oh, here we go. Just a second here. And this one villain I created has received a positive reception, which makes me happy beyond anything. And I will share her in just one moment. And again, going back to the public domain stuff, there is a comic character in the public domain called Iron Lady, although I've changed her around 100%. But this is Iron Lady, and she's a major foil to the She Agents as well. She has super strength, and as her name and appearance implies, she's nearly invulnerable with this metallic chrome type skin, not unlike, kind of think Colossus. However, she's in this form 100%. She does not change back to a normal human skin. She's like this all the time. She also can manipulate electromagnetic waves and powers, and which also gives her the ability to propel slash fly. She can levitate other objects, but it also enhances her super strength as well. And one thing about Iron Lady here, she's a bit of a mystery to a degree. She doesn't talk. They don't know what her motivations are, other than to go after the She Agents and command that comet in particular. Sister Scarab, Ron, you're saying, Sister Scarab will really bug the people who hate seeing strong but feminine-looking characters. Well, thank you. I really appreciate your kind words, Maranya. Yeah, I wanted to, I gave her the long hair to kind of that long ponytail and everything. I definitely want to make her feminine looking. But again, this is Iron Lady, and she works in conjunction with Sister Scarab. Um, but again, she will appear soon, and I want to show you a really kick butt piece of artwork I received from Mark Dale or Mark Dial. I know I'm pronouncing his name incorrectly, but he drew this for me a couple years ago, and I commissioned him. And again, this is Iron Lady that he drew for me, and I was so happy with this. I'm still happy with it. It is so bad, so yeah, that's Iron Lady, and she does have. Just by the way, I created her with rivets on her body, just a little affectation that I decided to give her. But and here's Iron Lady lifting up a boulder. Um, I just asked Mark to draw her, lifting something heavy, and I barely gave him any. The only thing I told him, I just gave him little details on, the rivets. Gave him that. I just asked him to draw her lifting something heavy, and this is what it came up with. And it's so. Forgive me for gushing. It's not just my character, but just what it came up with is above and beyond what I expected. I mean, just the inking and the chrome effects he gave her, it's just, the metallic appearance. It's just above and beyond what I expected. It's probably my favorite piece that I got from him. I got a couple other pieces from him, but this one is my favorite that he did, I have to say. Hey, Jeff Potts, hello. Thank you for coming in to watch and to listen. And again, I'm kind of going over my She Agents characters, some of the enemies and everything. I had done some artwork a little bit earlier. And let me take a look here. I'm trying to find the other member of the She Agents team. If I have the artwork available here. Let me see. I got that one. That's my do. I'm being a little bit sporadic here. I was drawing earlier, so I'm just going through some concept pages. And I appreciate y'all being here and your patience and listening and watching and everything. It is most welcome and most appreciated. Thank you for sparing your time to be here with me and for sparing time to be here on not just my channel, but on Pops' channel too, of course. Okay, I'm kind of going through things a little bit backwards here, but and another member of the She Agents team. This is Lady Valor. Kind of a Valkyrie type character. No rip off of Lady Thor or nothing like that. There are several, or Valkyrie, or anybody. She's a little bit different. I go into detail on her origin, and I think you guys will probably like her personality. I won't say too much. She has something unique about her besides her abilities and powers. She wields the flaming sword of truth, and she does have super strength. She can fly. Her supernatural abilities. She has a good degree of invulnerability. Not a whole lot, but her armor helps in that manner. She is kind of magic based. And again, this is my design, but the artwork here is by comic book artist Stephen Butler, who drew her superbly. I was so happy with this. And not to be arrogant, I'm just going to say this. Stephen Butler told me he really liked this design. He enjoyed drawing her quite a bit, and which really made me happy. And look at the detail on the metallic, the reflection on the shield and on the armor. And there's a reason why Stephen Butler was known for drawing Silver Sable. If you know who Silver Sable is, you know what her costume looks like. He's really, really good at rendering metal. And again, that's Lady Valor. She will end up being a member of the She Agents team. And then I just tried to test out some of the color schemes. I printed off the artwork, and then I colored Lady Valor here. And I was just trying to see what the colors would look like. Just had some fun with it. Although the comic book will be black and white to start off with, and again that's just another one, not too much different than the other one, than changing the color of the rocks and different shades of yellow on her hair and the wings and the lettering and everything. And then next up, another villain character of the She Agents team. And this is Grey Malkin. As her name implies, she's a feral feline type character. And that is my artwork with the coloring as well. And kind of a mutated type character. And she's mid-level super strength, but she's very ferocious, very feral. And she has these very sharp claws, if you want to call them talons. And then her legs are abnormally shaped. And she does have great leaping ability. She's very agile. She will shred through anything and everyone. And again, that's another enemy of the She Agents team. I'm kind of going backwards a little bit. And here's another great piece by Rock Baker. He drew Lady Valor with the pencils, and I started the inks. I still haven't finished it yet, but that's another great piece by Rock Baker he did for me, featuring Lady Valor. And another Rock Baker piece featuring my character, Princess Vanna Strong. He did the pencils on her, and I did the inks. A little bit different design on her costume that I had at the time, but this is another fantastic piece by Rock Baker, where Princess Strong is attacking a missile that is shooting a laser at her. But let me see. You've Moran, you're saying you've got good character designs that other artists can run with. That's a sign of a good character design. Well, thank you, Moran. Yeah, I would love. Here's the thing. I absolutely want to have another artist do the sequential pages for me. I've been having heck of a time finding anyone, and I'm offering payment too. That's what's killing me. I can't. I don't get it. But anyway, and this is my original concept design for Commandant Comet. I did several years ago. I've changed the color scheme of her costume, but that's just the original design on Commandant Comet. And I know her name sounds funky, Commandant Comet, but there are two characters with that name. One's Commandant, one's called Comet, and I just decided to merge the two. So that's why she has that. That's one of the reasons she has that name. And this was just a quick promotional piece I did for my character, Mr. Muck. And as I'm implying here, he has control over elements like fire, water, earth, and air. And in addition to the elemental powers, he has elasticity and mass manipulation, super strength, and other powers and abilities. And I hope you guys will check him out, because I do, in addition to this Golden Era comics with the original story, the origin that he appears in here, I'm going to have him be part of the team. And right now, I am talking with an artist who I hope will be able to draw him, but he's still caught up with a couple of other things right now. But I would love to get that going with Mr. Muck. But my focus right now is with the She Agents and the Paranormal Rogue Operatives. And I'm trying to see if I have any other concept sketches here that I can show. And again, here's another. Whoops, that's not the original. That's the print. This is the one I inked. And another Lady Valor sketch that Rock Baker did for me, which I inked. He did the pencils on her. I was really happy with that one. As always with Rock, he's fantastic. So let me see here. Oh yeah, Command Comics original design reminds me of the style of superheroes done in the 40s and 50s. Thank you for noticing that. I wanted to give her kind of a classic appeal, kind of a simple design. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ryan, you're so kind to me. I appreciate you taking time to look at that and to notice and to point that out. You're getting it. You're getting it 100%. So I appreciate that. And let me see here. Bear with me a second, please. I'm trying to. Okay, yeah. Here's the one I wanted to show. And again, speaking of Command Comet, again, this is my coloring on Stephen Butler's design. I don't know how well that can show up here. But that's my colors for her costume. You know, I was just trying to test out how she would, look like in color, and that's what I ended up doing. I've been a little bit sporadic here. Whoops. If you want to get a better view of all the characters, I do have a video on my YouTube channel where I'm showing off each concept sketch for the She Agents and the villains. But here's a villain character, and I haven't quite settled on the design. I'm calling her Mythtress, and here are two of the designs I came up with. Here's the first one. I didn't finish inking it, but again, it's just a concept sketch that I drew. And she's another enemy of the She Agents team. And here's another design I came up with. I kept her close to, with the nose ring and everything, the piercings and whatnot, but I don't have the eye symbol on her costume. And who and what is Mythtress? Well, I'll give you a little bit of a detail on her. She can, if anyone's familiar with, I forgot the name of the character, but there's a Golden Age character, and he's been used in DC. He can bring forth characters from myth and legend. Well, Mythtress here can do the same, but she can bring forth characters and monsters from myth and legend and folklore and bring them into reality. She can control them, and that's what she can do. Her name is Mythtress. And again, she's another enemy agent or an enemy character of the She Agents. And this is page 1 that I started on the She Agents comic. I don't have the lettering down yet or anything. And again, I hope to have that lettering done. Like Mariah mentioned, outsourcing the lettering. And I hope to have that art editor from Golden Era Comics help me if he's going to be available. So I would really like to have him on board for the She Agents on the lettering. Let me see. Oh, yeah, she has a Mary Marvel flavor, but still original design. One thing to keep in mind with character designs for sequential art, the more complex design, the more frustration some artists will have drawing them over and over. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I try to keep the designs simple yet appealing, nothing too involved or complex. I really can't I can't disagree with that. I kept that in mind. And here's another concept sketch of Princess Vanna Strong I drew a while ago. Actually, it was just last month. I drew her during a live stream. But again, that's Princess Vanna. I gave her a breast reduction on this drawing. The other drawings, I made her a little bit too buxom, perhaps. But I decided to draw her again during a past live stream. So, and again, that's Princess Vanna Strong. Let me see. Well, yeah, hey, well, thanks for coming in here, Jeff Potts. Yeah, definitely chill, man. You know, you're always welcome. And Maranya, I will do something here real quick if you bear with me. I have to go over to my YouTube side, and you are a moderator. And my apologies for not doing that sooner. I've been over here gabbing, blah blah blah, and showing everything off. And I appreciate your time and interactions with me quite a bit, very much so. And if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to show off a few other things before I call it. But just real quickly, I'm just going to put these pieces of art away before I drop it on the floor like I do with my pens. I don't want that to happen. But let me take a look here. Put this away over here. Okay. And this is a piece I had submitted to Indelible Comics for issue number 2 of their coloring book. And okay. Oh yeah, that's Jeff Potts. Yep. Okay, all right, right on, Jeff. I'm glad you're still here. Ron, you're saying people who use digital art can cheat and cut and paste the complex stuff like full body intricate tattoos. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, again, I don't like it, but that's just me. For that reason, let me see. Okay, yeah, and this is a character. I believe Dave No, the publisher of Indelible Comics. She's called Solaria. I like the design that he came up with her, and I drew her as kind of fan art a while back, and then I decided to submit it for the coloring book. Whether it'll be used or not, I don't know. But this is Solaria. Really nice design. And let me see. There was a comic book artist. Unfortunately, he passed away. He went by the nickname of Coinkadink. Kind of funny name. But he did some really nice Jack Kirby-esque style inspired artwork featuring Solaria and Phantasmo and Werewolf and Frankenstein and a bunch of other characters. But anyway, this is my take on Solaria that I drew, and that's for Indelible Comics. Let's see, what else do I have here? And this is my take. This is just some fan art I drew for Indelible Comics, featuring my cartoon version of Spaceman here. And then my take on Atomic Brain. And I just used the name from the movie Atomic Brain. I just made him like a sidekick, and they're battling, facing off some alien insects here. And Atomic Brain making short order of a space bug. And that's just some cartoon fan art I did a while back. Actually, 2 years ago. I'm looking at the date on it. So that's from 2 years ago. And this one's from several years ago. And I showed it on my public domain daily playlist. If you're on my YouTube channel, please check out my playlist called Public Domain Daily, where I post videos of comic book art, characters from the public domain, my versions of them. Some of them are original, based on the original design. Some I changed around. But this is something I did a few years ago for a text comic I did called The Freedom Guard. And I used several public domain characters. And again, here they are facing off against a giant robot. And here we have up in the corner the Blue Lady. And down in the corner, Man of Metal. Then my take on Human Meteor. Then Captain Victory. And then Diamond Jack, although I used the cut and paste lettering here. And then Nature Woman up on top. And they're facing off against a giant robot character who has kind of a steamroller type wheel on the base here. And I'm looking at the chat here, so bear with me a second. Oh, well, thank you, Miran. Yeah, I hope she does too. And again, that's not my original design, but I like the design that was created for her, Solaria. And I thought, that'd make a good piece to submit. Yeah, submit this Atomic Brain and Buddy art to the coloring book too. I can't remember. Here's the thing: I can't remember if I did. I might have to do it again, but I may have too much black on it. I don't know, but I will. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's Spaceman. There is a generic character called Spaceman that appeared in Dell Comics, and he had a several issue run actually. I want to say 2 issue, maybe 3. I can't remember. Okay, since I'm done talking about the She Agents and the public domain stuff, I'm going to dig out something else real quick. If y'all can bear with me for a moment, I would appreciate it. And again, thank you very much for sparing time to hang out with me, to watch and to listen. And again, my goal is to try to get some attention to my pending comic project called The She Agents and the Paranormal Rogue Operatives. And I do have other comic titles I would like to get rolling. But those are my 2 main ones I'm focused on for this year. And again, I have my Mr. Muck story published in Golden Era Comics. And do check it out if you can on Indie Planet. Issues 1 and 4, I think, are still available. And if you can't find it on Indie Planet, go on to Facebook and look up Golden Era Comics. There is a group page there, and you can order through Mark Davis, who runs that page, if you're so inclined. And the comic books are not that expensive. They're very affordable. And let me see. And here's one of the pages, page 5, that I drew for the Mr. Muck story here. And again, the Ken Johnson, the art editor, he added some really nice effects on the background. So this is just a basic page, and then Ken Johnson, he really did a really nice job on the effects. And if you can bear with me a moment, I'm trying to dig through a few things, and then hopefully I can find them. And again, I'm going to say it again. Whether it's on my channel or here on Pop's Comics and Madness Network, or wherever you may be watching and listening, please like, please share, please subscribe. That would be really appreciated. just trying to find something else. So I swear, if I were more disorganized, I'd be a politician. Or a member of Congress. But that's another story. I didn't say that. That was in Minecraft. Okay, let me see here. Okay, that's the one I wanted. Okay, just want to show off real quickly. Just a couple of the characters from my Paranormal Rogue Operatives, the all-female paranormal investigating team / monster hunters. I do have more characters, but I just want to show a couple of them right now, if you don't mind. So, who and what do we have here? Right here. This is a character called Tarantula 5. She's a member of the Pros, the Paranormal Rogue Operatives. She wields this sword and this scythe. And her main focus is she is a vampire hunter, but she would definitely go after other monster characters, other villains. She has several staves on her armband here. She carries several weapons. And her name is Tarantula 5. And through the story, kind of like a little bit similar to Command That Comet in her origin, she doesn't know who she is until certain things happen. And then she discovers that she is this vampire hunter. And she's very adept. And she's a member of the Paranormal Rogue Operatives. And I hope you will like her. And here's another member of the Pros team. Her nickname is Red, but she's also known as Ghost Woman. And of course, there's a public domain character called Ghost Woman, but I nicknamed her Red. And this is just a concept sketch I did on a comic book backing board during a past live stream. But she's definitely a member of the Pros team. And like her name implies, she's a spirit living in the material world. I hope you caught that reference. And here are a couple of bad guys, major bad guys. And here, just concept sketches. And this is a character called Touchstone the Mystic. And like his name implies, he's a mystic. He can manipulate, black magic, that sort of thing. I give him other abilities and powers. And you probably can't quite see it, but he's got this funky pigtail for kind of Fu Manchu, extended little wisp of beard, whiskers there. Really funky looking, but he's Touchstone the Mystic. And then off to the side, I got a character I created called the Green Ghoul. And the Green Ghoul is another character that's in the public domain, but I changed him around. And he's a major baddie monster character, enemy of the Pros team. And then here is the leader of the Paranormal Rogue Operatives. And her name is Susie Doc Atomic, although she goes by Doc Atomic. She's very petite. She's highly intelligent. She's an inventor, paranormal investigator, whereas some people dismiss monsters and legends and lore as fiction. She knows better. She knows that they are real. And her goal with the team is not just to investigate, but to protect humanity from supernatural and horror villains and attacks and creatures and monsters. And she has some unique inventions, which I hope you guys will like. And then one other character I will show who's another enemy of the pros team, the Paranormal Rogue Operatives, and her name is Ebony Swath. And I cannot pronounce the power that she has, but through telekinetic ability, she can manipulate fabric, tensile steel, anything that's kind of like a woven material, whether it's fabric or cloth or um, polyester, even tensile steel, anything that's kind of woven together, she can manipulate and control, but she can also become invisible with a cloak. She can create a cloak around herself and then become invisible, and she can also teleport. And this is another enemy character of the pros team. Let me see. Well, thank you for sharing that link, Maranya. I really appreciate that very much. Let me see. Let me take a look. Okay, here we go. I think you guys will like this artwork. And I know I'm going back and forth between the villains and the characters from the team, but I do have videos posted where I show each character and explain them individually. So do check out my channel for more detailed information in a more cohesive manner. But this is a character I call Lady Gargoyle. And she's, despite her monstrous appearance, she is a member of the Paranormal Rogue Operatives. And this is my design. And again, Mark Dial drew her for me, and he did a really nice job on her. And she becomes quote unquote activated anytime there are supernatural threats against humanity. And she's in communication with Doc Atomic, and she's a member of the Paranormal Rogue Operatives. And this is Lady Gargoyle. And there are other members of the pros team. I need to finish the artwork on a couple of those pieces, and I don't want to show them again because they're pretty rough, and I don't want to um, show something that is not complete. But again, that's by Mark Dial. I was really happy with this one. I might change your feed a little bit, but this is what he came up with. Some people don't like it, some people do. It all depends. We'll see what I will manage. Oh, I actually, I right now, Maranya, I have a discontinued um what is it, Brother brand printer scanner. It's the MFC J65 was it QDW, whatever the heck it is. But it's a dang printer scanner that's been discontinued. I've had it for several years. Um I do need to get a new one. I just haven't had the funds for it. So I'm not always too happy with I mean, I'm able to adjust the PSI on on the scans and everything, but they still don't have the great clarity and quality that the newer ones have. And one thing about this Brother brand printer scanner, it will turn on by itself and do some things that are really bizarre. So it rotates through the ink, and I notice it will deplete the ink levels even though I'm not using it. And that's probably one of the reasons it's been discontinued, because either they purposely did it that way or there's a glitch in it. But anyway, that's what I'm using right now. It's a Brother brand printer scanner. I've heard horror stories of the what actually I have the computer brand right now, but some other printer scanners that are impossible to use. But anyway, that's what I'm using right now. Let me see, Moran, you're saying I use a Mustech A3 2400S myself, and it can scan up to 11 by 16-inch pieces. Yeah, that's the thing, Maranya. I don't have one that's at that size. It's just the largest I can go is 9 by 12, And while I should probably try to do artwork on the 11 by 17 paper, I've never been too comfortable doing it. I always work, 9 by 12, and then I shrink it down, and that's where I'm at right now with all that. So let me take a look here. I really appreciate y'all being here. I really do. Next week I will probably go live a little bit later. I have, TMI. I have a doctor's appointment, and I have some bill paying. The whole other errand running I have to do. So I'm not sure what time it will be. Might be 2:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think maybe 3:00. But when I know, I will, let Pops Van Zant know what the time will be once I have that figured it out. So, and again, I really appreciate you being here. Let me see. I highly recommend not to get any all-in-one printer scanners, because if one part goes stupid, you essentially have a doorstop. I speak sadly from experience.
All right, so you ready to check out, brother?
Yes, sir. Yeah, and thanks for everyone for spending time with me here. Let me, ramble on and show what I have and have done and hope to do.
All right. So yeah, later tonight, we have RJ Critical Blast has a show at 8:00. We'll be broadcasting here. We have CromCon this weekend, yo. Starts Friday night, yo, and you know how we do it all weekend long. And we'll be broadcasting out all over the place. You'll be able to find us. Y'all have a good day. Thanks, Eric. This was a great show, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. We're going to play a commercial or two, and we're going to be out of here.
I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving it, so all you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where? There was the brakes on this bus. I forgot.
Jazz
how to drive.
hands, jazz hands,
Have
and
a good
brakes.
night.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals.